one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
You view this season as a failure?
Oh my God. Okay, because I'm not that up. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get the promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, I don't know, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado,
free smoke.
Look, scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much or how you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our block, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Winning has a price. And leadership has a price. So I pulled people along when they didn't want to be pulled. I challenge people when they don't want to be challenged.
Yo, welcome back to Kicking It with Saint. I am your host, Saint. Yo, how dope was the day? Yo, what did we get into today? Yo, you know what I'm saying? What did we get into today? Listen, we got some things to talk about. As I sat down and started recording, I think I got to take a shit, but I'm not sure. But we're going to keep recording. We're going to push through. Listen, I'm happy to be here. We got some things to talk about. I've been waiting to see how this offseason unfolded for the NBA. Took a quick little break, but we back. Interested to see what was going to happen with the NBA offseason. It has started. So, we're going to focus on 3 things in this video. 3 people. Three things this show. James Harden and the Philadelphia 76ers. Kyrie Irving and the Dallas Mavericks. And Draymond Green. Yo, I thought I was going to make a video for each one. And I might still do a video for each one, basically talking about the importance of it if I don't get it out in this one. But I'm pretty sure I'll get it out in this one. But listen, let's start off with James Harden. Because I feel like the James Harden one will take the longest to talk about. Because I got a lot to say when it pertains to this James Harden situation. So James Harden opted into his player option with the Philadelphia 76ers as reported by Adrian Wojnarowski. And it said that he will be working on a trade with the 76ers to get him traded elsewhere. And I done heard all the different reports, like the Philadelphia 76ers didn't have an offer ready. They didn't want to talk to him or some crap like that. I'm not focusing on none of that. I have no insider information, so I will not focus on things of that nature. But listen, I just want to talk about what does this mean now for the process for Philadelphia? I really think this is the best outcome for Philadelphia, to be quick to it. Listen, you would have gotten nothing for him if he had just walked and left in free agency. Now, you probably won't get back a huge package for a 30-plus-year-old James Harden out of his prime in this moment. But you still get more than what you would have got for him if he had left in free agency for nothing. So I actually think this is a great situation. Now, to the people who think, and I could imagine that it's a lot out there, but I do imagine there's some people out there who like, well, why wouldn't you just try to keep James Harden? He a great, to the people who have that idea, I don't know what sport you watching or what games you watch, because that's an interesting take. But to the Philadelphia 76er fans out there saying, what do we do now? Well, that's now why you have Tyrese Maxey. Now you hope Tyrese Maxey take that next step and grow with Joel Embiid. Now, in my opinion, Joel Embiid and James Harden were never winning a championship together anyways. Didn't matter. When I watch James Harden and Joel Embiid, I just don't see two dudes who willing to do anything it take to win a championship. Within the confines of anything, willing to do anything. Not something wild. Like, I watch guys like a Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry, LeBron James. Bro, these two dudes ain't them. And I'm not saying everybody got to be those three dudes or dudes of that caliber. What I am saying is something that those champions have. It's a burning desire that they have to win. That's why I don't get all up in arms about Dame Lillard not leaving Portland. Who cares? If he want to stay in Portland and lose, let him. When people kept talking about Bradley Beal, bro, he choosing to stay there and lose. If he want to stay in Washington and lose, let him. I have no problem when dudes done basically told you, I like losing. I'm going to stay here and lose because I get paid good to do so. I got no problem with that. When the dude tell you that's his priority, accept it. As I have. But to the dudes who have that something in them, to where regardless if they have to leave to go win a championship or if they can win one in the team with the team they drafted by. Championship level players have something extra. I do not see that in Joel Embiid and James Harden. I hadn't seen that in James Harden. Listen, I remember when James Harden and Joel Embiid first got together and people was talking about this the new Kobe and Shaq. It's disrespectful anytime people compare Kobe and Shaq to other players, in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there. But to compare those two to Kobe and Shaq to me was ridiculous. Now, it's easy for a whole bunch of people to go at James Harden. Oh, James Harden ain't the best playoff player. Oh, James Harden ain't this. James Harden ain't that. Listen, at some point in time, y'all gonna have to hold Joel Embiid accountable. He run off every teammate he got. Now somebody gonna be like, oh, well, Jimmy Butler wanted it. Well, he not there. So I don't care for all that. Bro, you put two dudes on the same team who ain't good leaders, but they was the leaders of the team. Joel Embiid done shown you he'll throw his teammates under the bus every chance he get every opportunity given to throw him under the bus, he run them off right over. James Harden ain't no great leader, especially if you want to talk about leading by example. My goodness. And these is great players. I'm taking nothing away from them. All-star players, perennial all-star players. Deserve every penny they make. But they're not championship level players, bro. They're not the type of players who you can rely on to get you to a championship and to sacrifice different type of things in order to be successful. So I'm not shocked by what's happening in Philadelphia, because as you continue to watch the process slowly break down, and it might be picked up at a rampant pace at this point in time, Philadelphia can just be grateful for the drafting of so many talented players and being able to trade so many different talented players, that the fall is taking as long as it is. But I've said it before. A champion like Draymond went at Dylan Brooks about how a championship don't start with you, it start after you. I feel the exact same way about Joel Embiid and James Harden. And Joel Embiid got time to turn it around. James Harden is what he is. So, listen, when I heard the reports that James Harden wanted to go back to Houston, I immediately believed it. And it's very rare that I believe these reports. I believe that one. Like, to me, James Harden is the definition of you see, what you see is exactly what you get. Out of shape multiple years. Like, to me, Embiid could be headed down. James Harden, and I'm really not trying to murk James Harden here, but having him as the dude around Embiid probably was never going to be the greatest thing. I think you should be happy that now you get him out of the room. You might have should have kept Jimmy Butler, somebody that would have worked Joel Embiid's ass. Joel Embiid running around the court late in games as a big ass slob. It's just a big old roadblock running around, laboring around the corner in the fourth quarters and shit. That don't help the 76ers. Him setting these half-ass big body illegal screens and shit, getting called for different things left and right because he giving half effort because he gassed and whatnot. When is somebody gonna say something about that? Every year this big motherfucker come back in the season in the same shape or in worse shape. Then he left. I don't get it. At what point in time, not to mention, it's a blessing that he ain't had knee problems with as big as he is. At one point in time, at what point is somebody going to talk to Joel Embiid? Because it's easy to go at James Harden. It's easy to go at Ben Simmons. It's easy to go at Markelle Fultz. It's easy to talk about how the organization didn't retain Jimmy Butler. It's easy to blame Tyrese Maxey. It's easy to blame Tobias Harris. It's easy to blame JJ Redick. It's easy to blame anybody who done played for this team, but I don't hear people coming at Joel Embiid. But it's funny to me. Some of the greatest champions I've ever seen or watched, the Steph Currys, the LeBrons, the Kobes, the Jordans, is some of the most heavily criticized players of all time. It's real conversations and hatred out there for those players right there. Obviously, those are some of the biggest fan bases you'll ever see. But for the same fan bases of love, they got the same type of negative fan bases of people who hate them. So, I don't see it with them, man. Most people come to the conclusion Harden and Embiid is what they is. Now, granted, like I said before, Embiid still got a chance to turn this thing around, but I don't see it. How many times you need to lose in the second round? How many times do you need to see your peers around you win? And then whining and bitching about the MVP? The basketball guys got tired of it and said, have it. Have it. It's yours. And now watch Jokic go win finals MVP. It's ridiculous. And you know Joel Embiid was watching because one of his best friends and Jimmy Butler was playing, and one of his nemesis in his mind, Jokic, was playing. The dude who he feel like done robbed him out of MVP. And now Jokic can legitimately say, you robbed me out of MVP, but that's all right, big fella. I got the one that mattered in the end of the day. So, you know, Philadelphia is an interesting situation for me. I don't take that situation serious or that team serious. Every time people had him as a championship favorite, I don't. James Harden, to me, done showed me on a multitude of Manu Ginobili in that block and his meltdown in San Antonio lives in my head for James Harden. All these playoff letdowns live in my head for James Harden. All these nonchalant moments where he just don't care. I mean, if this dude is who he say he is, why would he have ever wanted out of Houston? Why didn't he want Houston to fix that situation? Steph Curry didn't ask for a trade out of Golden State when shit looked like it was going sour. James Harden immediately jumped ship. If you're a certain type of player, you're supposed to stay there and get that shit right. Not only that, you wanted to be paid as like a player who could get the ship right and be the guy who fix it all. It's very interesting to me how these NBA... Hey, listen. You give NBA players a lot. And it's so crazy because James Harden came up in the... well, I would say he came up in that Curry, Kyrie, KD. But really the only people who embody that type of, Kobe type of thing as LeBron and Steph and Giannis and a couple others to an extent. But listen, what's next for the process? You just gotta hope Tyrese Maxey growing to the player that you hope he growing to. He gonna have to get better and be a more consistent shooter. A lot of bad playoff shooting nights for him when it comes to just straight up shooting. I'm not even gonna go through all that shit that I was looking at when I was watching Tyrese Maxey throughout the playoffs. And to me, it don't matter. Give me a quick second. Okay, for me, I don't think it matter what happened with the 76ers when it comes to, once again, another second. Okay, for me, when it comes to this 76er situation, it don't, to me, matter what Tobias do, what he improve on, what Maxey improve on. It don't matter what all these other dudes improve on. Until Joel Embiid come in shape, ready to make a legitimate championship run. Because how the fuck is he winning a championship if he can't make it past the second round without being as tired as he be? Is injured and banged up easy. No, at some point in time, people said the same thing about AD. Now, AD got, AD's route was a little different. You got to take 2 months off because of COVID, but that's a little different. But if Joel Embiid don't come back, and I feel like we say this shit every year, man. Every year. At this point, if he don't realize this, hey, it is what it is. Point blank, period. When it comes to where James Harden might end up next, I saw the Clippers thing. I don't really want to speculate on where James Harden might end up. I really have no clue where James Harden could end up. I couldn't even tell you what would be the best location for him. But I will address the location that people been talking about, the Clippers. I don't understand that location. Is it just these dudes want to team up with other dudes with big names? Kawhi and Paul George are never on the court. And what you do with Russ. So I'm baffled by that. I don't. Hey, I'm along for the ride like everybody else, bro. It's not even a situation where I would even worry too much about, bro, to be completely honest with you. Now, Draymond Green and Kyrie Irving re-signed with their respective teams. I kind of figured that both of these was going to happen. I just didn't believe Draymond Green was leaving Steph Curry, bro. I couldn't see it. Steph's still in his prime. That's the dude who he been rocking with since day one. I just found it too hard to believe that Draymond Green would up and just leave Steph Curry like that. Not to mention, Draymond Green is still a top tier player. Still probably the best defensive player in the NBA other than Giannis Antetokounmpo, even though Giannis I do not believe can guard all 5 positions because I don't believe Giannis can guard guards. I know it's easy to think, oh, you just put a big man like Giannis in front of a guard, but it actually, it's not that simple. But Giannis is a top defender in the league, if not the best. Him and Draymond can be 1A. But Draymond Green is still a top defender in the league. I still think Draymond Green is an all-star caliber player. This thing where people do the triple single and all that crap, you just continue to prove you don't know ball. And what I think is alarming is how so many people who don't know ball basically get on Twitter and brag about not knowing ball based off of this just utterly stupid fucking takes that y'all have and based off of all the likes and retweets and comments that y'all get for said dumbass takes. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. I don't even know why I brought it up. But check me out. Draymond Green, to me, for one, no doubt Hall of Famer. If you don't see the importance of Draymond Green, once again, you don't know ball. Draymond Green is the second best player on this team. It's Steph Curry, it's Draymond Green. I still believe the Warriors need to trade Andrew Wiggins. I'm a firm believer that they should trade Andrew Wiggins. I understand they're not gonna let Klay Thompson go. I didn't come to the conclusion they just gonna try to figure out a way to keep Klay as long as they possibly can. And if Klay don't want to take a pay cut, then that's the only way I could ever see them letting him go after this year. But to me, if Andrew Wiggins Andrew Wiggins damn near pulled a Harrison Barnes, bro. That's how bad him and Klay, bro. Like, it was bad out there, bro. And I don't see nobody, not to mention, I just don't see what the Warriors game plan is when I'm looking at all these other teams, bro. Because I'm not one of those people who say, I'm not going to look at the landscape of the NBA, see all these teams and talent and say, you know, I see all these talented teams, but I'm going to still take Miami to win it all, man, because of that culture. That's fucking stupid. Like, that makes no sense. Unless Miami's culture come with that big three of LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Bosh, with all those stud others around, then miss me with that Miami culture shit. At some point in time, the Warriors, I hope they realize, bro, we need to put a legitimate talent, like, we need to go out and get Steph Curry, a number 2, bro, who could be a number 1 on other nights where Steph need a break. But you need to know that, like, hoping Andrew Wiggins could do that is one thing. Hoping Jordan Poole could do that is one thing. Knowing Paul George, Kawhi Leonard gonna go out there. No, that was a bad first example because they always hurt. But it's like KD and Devin Booker. And now they even got Bradley Beal. The Lakers with LeBron and AD. What's another team? Jokic. I don't really like using Denver because a lot of people say Murray, but I say Murray, Porter, Brown, and a lot of other people. So Luka and Kyrie. I don't think Curry got that. While his second best player is a phenomenal player, he ain't a scorer. You gotta be able to score some points in this league. So that would be my only thing with that. But Draymond Green coming back was a no-brainer. Absolutely brilliant move. And I understand you can't have Draymond Green on the roster, asking him to take a pay cut to stay on the team, and then having Jordan Poole on the roster making more than him. That's just absolutely insane when Draymond Green done put in what he done put in for this organization. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there who will tell you, well, what he did in the past shouldn't mean nothing. And these are the same people who would bitch about being treated dirty, about the things that they've done for somebody not being, you know, what they've done for somebody being taken for granted and things of that nature. People are very cynical when they're talking about other people. But, you know, as soon as you try to put them in a situation, this situation not about me. But, you know, I digress. When it comes to the Mavericks situation, listen, man, this one is very simple, short, and sweet for me. I do not believe in Dallas. I need to see Dallas make some more moves because Kyrie re-signing don't mean nothing to me. They could end up trading Kyrie next year. Kyrie and Luka just does not work, in my opinion. Not because they can't score a lot of points, not even because I think they'll miss the playoffs again next year, because I didn't think they missed the playoffs this year. The defense, bro. This Mavericks team plays no defense. It would be one thing if this Dallas team, put up the type of points like this and no other teams in the West, or maybe one other team in the West, could put up the type of points they put up. The problem is you got about 8, 9, 10 teams that could put up the same amount of points as Dallas can right now. So being able to score a bunch of points don't really do shit for you. And yes, in the regular season, you play different teams on different nights. Who knows what's going on with different teams? But still, you can use that same logic for all those other teams in the Western Conference that put up a shit ton of points. And so until Dallas figure out how to bro, you got it. You cannot score 130 and hope the other team just score 129. You got to actually be able to put up 100 points on some nights and hold the other team to 90, to 80. Like, that's shit you got to be able to do. Every game you win cannot be a game where you put up a crazy amount of points and you barely win because you hit the last shot. That cannot be the motto for Dallas. And it just feel like that's the motto for Dallas. not to mention, I still don't have much faith in Luka as much as I love Luka, and I love watching Luka play. I don't like watching him bitch to the referees all the time, but until Luka let go of this James Harden-esque type of play style he got at times, where it's just dribble the air out of the fucking ball and then pass the ball at the last second or try to foul bait. I just don't think that I don't think players who play like that, their career is going to end in the most fashionable ways. You know what I'm saying? A heavy arsenal of step back shots, circus 3-pointers basically that he rely on right now. When you take enough hits from playing the way Luka played, which is highly similar to the way James Harden played in Houston, I just don't think it's a lot of upside to that. So and on top of that, bro, the coach in Dallas listen, I like Jason Kidd, bro. Hall of Fame guy. I hear him talking about holding Luka accountable. But hey, until that motherfucker actually is held accountable, just like I talked about Joel Embiid. See, that's the problem, bro. You hear a motherfucker like me talking about holding players accountable, and motherfuckers get up in arms. Bro, at some point in time in life, we all had to be held accountable. That's the problem with some of you motherfuckers, bro. That's one of the reasons I like to think that I'm progressing pretty nicely as a human being in my mentals and whatnot. Because I'm big on accountability. I got no problem with taking accountability for the shit that I do. I might be embarrassed at times, but that shit like that lets me know don't do certain shit and you won't be embarrassed. But I tell people all the time, I take credit for the things that I do. Because if I win, you give me my credit. But I also take credit for my losses too. I'm a very prideful man. I lost that. Give it to me. So, until people start to learn how to take accountability and be okay with other motherfuckers having to be held accountable, then you're going to keep having the same motherfuckers win championships every year. It's funny how Jokic could have folded when people was calling him a fat ass, saying he looked like a McDonald's Biggie bag, saying he looked like a Yoo-Hoo bottle. He didn't do none of that. That man got into the gym, worked his ass off, got a post-game second to none, and had a drive of a fucking champion. Jamal Murray could have quit after. I'm not going through all these motherfucking stories. I was going to specifically use Jokic because that's that dude. But listen, at some point in time, you got to hold these motherfuckers accountable, bro. Or you could keep babying them, and every time they come up short, have a new excuse. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking with Say. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You could be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today. Like, subscribe, share. Saying out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking or something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.